All right, we have got a wild one for you today. We're talking about a very public firing, some seriously tangled accusations, and a plot twist that involves the Department of Justice in a way you will not believe. But first, real quick, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You are not going to want to miss what we've got coming up. Okay, let's do this. So imagine scrolling online and you see this. Donald Trump just straight up posts this letter, firing someone for the whole world to see. So the big question is, who is this letter for and what on earth did they do to deserve this? Well, the letter was addressed to Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. And the supposed crime she committed, it all comes down to a couple of pieces of paperwork. No, seriously. The accusation is that she signed forms for 2 different mortgages, claiming 2 different houses as her main home at pretty much the same time. And this is where it gets interesting. The timing is everything. The claim is that Cook signed a document for a house in Michigan saying, "This is my primary residence," but then just 2 weeks later, she supposedly sent another one for a house in Georgia, making the exact same claim. As Trump's letter says, quote, "It is impossible that you intended to honor both." But to really get why this is blowing up, you have to look at Trump's own history with loan applications. And folks, this is where the story takes a massive, ironic twist. You remember that huge civil fraud case against Trump in New York, right? Where the judge found that he and his company lied about how much their properties were worth to get better loans? Well, his defense in that case is the key to this whole thing. And there it is. This was the core of his legal team's argument. They basically said, hey, the banks got paid back with interest. Nobody lost any money. So what's the big deal? No harm, no foul. Let's look at maybe the most famous and kind of jaw-dropping example from that case. It's all about the size of his penthouse in Trump Tower. So on the financial statements he used to get those loans, Trump's penthouse was listed as being a massive 30,000 square feet. I mean, just picture that, a palace in the sky. Yeah, about that. The actual size is closer to 10,000 square feet. That's not just a rounding error. He claimed it was 3 times bigger than it actually is. Okay, so let's connect the dots here, because Lisa Cook doesn't seem to be a random target. Nope, she's part of a very specific and very political pattern. Get this, a Trump appointee, Bill Pulte, who runs the Federal Housing Financing Agency, has filed criminal referrals for mortgage fraud against these 3 specific people. And what do they all have in common? They're all prominent political opponents of Trump. And just to put this in perspective, we're talking about 3 criminal referrals targeting his political critics. That's 3 out of nearly 51 million mortgages that this agency oversees. I mean, what are the odds? Okay, if you thought the story couldn't get any more unbelievable, just buckle up, because this next part is where the irony meter just completely shatters. So where do these criminal referrals even go? Who gets the job of looking into these super specific, politically charged allegations? They were sent to a special team inside the Department of Justice. It's called the Weaponization Working Group, and its entire purpose, its reason for existing, is to investigate the government for using the legal system to target political opponents. I'm not making this up. The very group created to stop the government from being weaponized against political enemies is now investigating criminal referrals made against Trump's political enemies. The irony is just chef's kiss. So what happens now? Trump sent the letter, the accusations are out there, and it's all leading to a classic Washington standoff. Well, Lisa Cook's response was fast and to the point. She put out a statement basically saying, thanks, but no thanks. I'm not resigning, and that she's going to keep doing her job. And here's the legal roadblock. The law is pretty clear. A president can only remove a Federal Reserve governor for cause. And Cook's whole point is that under the law, no such cause exists. So the letter has no real legal power. Which leaves us with this huge, tangled question. In a situation this political, what does for cause even mean anymore? And who actually gets to decide? So what do you think is going to happen? And what does this whole mess say about where we draw the line between law and politics? Let me know what you think down in the comments, smash that like button, and of course, subscribe for more. See you next time.